To explain the main problems with the DLC, I will give the same explanation I gave some time ago. And the explanation is playing the Nightreign DLC. Imagine you are having lunch and you have a plate of pasta in front of you and some cheese on the side. Eating the plate of pasta is the main game. You finish the plate of pasta, you're like satisfied. Maybe you want more and there's the cheese over there. You then think there's gonna be cheese at one point. Okay, I eat the plate of pasta and then I imagine this plate of pasta with the cheese and it's just amazing, okay? Playing the DLC of Nightreign feels like eating the plate of pasta and then grabbing the pot with the cheese and just raw eating it with a spoon. What an Italian way to explain it. Yes, you will understand why I made that and why it makes sense. Everything new is good. Bosses, the new map, enemies, characters, locations, new stones, new effect of the stones, the passive effects and stuff. It's amazing. Everything they added is top-notch. The new bosses, big final bosses, are awesome looking. They play differently compared to the others, up to an extent, but they are pretty solid, you know. They can be different, and they look different, and they are better than a lot of other things they made in the base game. Looking at you, Adele. Or I Stand by Gladius as well is not great, especially with two people. Two people is awful. But that's where it stops. And I will say everything that I don't like and what should be fixed. The final boss, the unlock for the Draglord, as an old player, it feels too sudden. As a new player, apparently you need to beat at least Gladius and Balancers in order to unlock the boss. Like unlocking everything in the game, aka beating Gladius, which is the tutorial boss. And that's one problem. Draglord feels and is too sudden compared to the rest of the game. You beat Gladius and everything unlocks. Okay, you beat Gladius and then you have Balancers, and then you beat Balancers and then you have the fight with the Draglord. You could beat those two bosses in 2 runs. They talk about it like it's this huge threat. It's the icon of putrescence, it's the icon of what is left behind, agglomerated all together, trying to overcome the night by itself. Even maybe it doesn't even look like it's doing it on purpose. It's just that it exists, and that is a problem by itself. I like the concept, but just one boss, as an old player, literally feels like I unlock everything the game has to show in literally 2 runs, if I'm good against the Balancers. Take 1 run to realize everything new, check everything that is new and all that, and then make another run that you can actually beat the final boss of the first DLC run, and then you have the final boss of the DLC. Beat that guy, it's over. This is not an hate discussion. I want to add this to the talk so that maybe it gets spread, reaches Fromsoft, and they fix the game. Because what they are doing with Nightreign is literally everything good except the roguelike part. The new characters are weirdly introduced as well. Like, you literally go to a door that is unlocked after beating Gladius, you interact with the door, you get thrown in a boss fight out of nowhere, you win or die, it's no problem. Doesn't change anything. And then you are introduced to 2 new characters, which are the main enemies of the Draglord. I don't know why yet, because I didn't do remembrances, but they want the Draglord and they know the Draglord. Were they always in the room? It was closed until the release of the DLC. Were they just in the room? Where were they beforehand? There is nowhere else to be in the roundtable hold. So they just appear out of nowhere? They could have said the influence of the night has spread further than anticipated or than usual, and they're like, okay, now more allies are joined in the ranks of the Nightfarers. No, they just appear out of nowhere. And now I'm gonna talk about the worst part of the game for the DLC. The game is running on seeds. Like many roguelikes, you start a run and you are in a randomly generated seed that is built by an algorithm inside the game that decides which camps are gonna be which camps. Maybe the bottom camp is gonna be a fire camp or a death ruin red main camp. That's pretty much how it works. And that is okay. It's no big deal. The problem is, the way world generation works in Nightreign is not random. Let me explain. The seeds that exist in Nightreign are just a bunch. Like 20 seeds per boss, which 2 variations for Shifting Earth. So take 10 seeds normally, and then there is Volcano Shifting Earth or Noclateo Shifting Earth, and that boss with that Shifting Earth only has 2 variations of the map. That is not okay, because after you play through 4 runs, you start realizing that those runs are always the same. And it's not ideal for a roguelike to have repetitive stuff. The main thing of a good roguelike is it's not repetitive. It always has something different. There's always like a different camp or different enemy in a different location, different room. Maybe we're playing Isaac. You start in a floor, and that floor has 2 rooms on the right, 3 rooms up above, maybe they interconnect in some way. Probably in the middle there is a secret room, and you kind of learn how to play the game in that way. And it gets better the more runs you do, because every run feels different, not the same. In this case, it feels like they are the same constantly while you're playing the game. The game is still amazing. It's a lot of fun, but that's the point. It's fun as a Souls-like, because it's a Souls-like at the core. The roguelike element was fun for the first hours of the game, and I will explain why. The roguelike approach is entirely wrong here. Look at Isaac, look at Dead Cells, look at Risk of Rain, look at Slay the Spire, or any other roguelike you know. The thing is, there is a lot of repetitivity in a bad way. The main thing I want to talk about now is how to fix gameplay, how to fix everything related to the game. There are a lot of things to fix. I made a list of bad things. There is a list of things that is even longer now because of how many things need to be addressed to make it better. And I will show you in the gaming scene. Okay. Remake/add seeds for the new locations. You remember when I was talking about they added locations for the new boss and stuff? They added new locations like poison swamps. As you can see now, I can open the map and check there is 1 new camp, another new camp, okay, 4 new camps, 5 new camps, and I also have crater. So that even cuts some of the locations out. And then we go into Fisher in the Fog, which is a base game boss. Balances was a DLC boss. Okay, let's check for the new camps. None. There is no new camp at all. They did not add to the generation of worlds, which is barely random, the new camps, which have a lot of quality of life changes that could actually improve the base game by a long shot. And that is a problem, because if you think about other roguelikes, some of that quality of changes usually comes in free updates. The only quality of change they made in this update was being able to name all your presets. That is the only change they've made. They added a bunch of stuff that is good for every single player and situation and run, because you could add those to these 8 fuckers, okay? But they did not. That means the new camps are locked behind a paywall and only for these 2 final bosses, which are 1/5 of the game. Like, if you want the reroll option on your weapon art, you don't have it, and that is stupid. My suggestion is either remake or add new seeds for the new locations. Update the existing content to have the DLC content and give it as a free update for everyone. I know it's a lot of work that technically is put into the DLC, but they need to switch it so that everyone has the quality of life, everyone has a lot more replayability, and not just the people who bought the DLC have the new camps, because after you're done with these 2, there is no other reason to keep playing them if not for fun. Which is okay, key of the game. Like, having fun, playing games is part of the fun. Okay, I get it. It's okay. But the thing is, why, if I own the DLC, that's where we go as well. If I own the DLC, why am I forced to get that new content only by fighting the 2 new bosses when there are no rewards for it? It's not fun. It's being forced to do what the game wants you to do. Make those new locations available for every single possible run in the game so that everyone has the same experience, even without the new bosses. I think it's part of the thing. Or maybe just add possibility that world generation even to old bosses if you own the DLC. Okay, I can get behind that. It's fine. If not everyone owns the DLCs, you will only get the old camps. If you don't have the DLC, you can't fight these 2 and you're like in a group. It's perfectly fine. I don't mind. I don't care. But having spent money for the DLC and those extra elements are locked in the fight against the new bosses, I feel scammed. I genuinely feel scammed. I feel like I didn't buy an expansion. I bought a other mini game, so to speak, a standalone game that is pretty much accessible only through the main menu. If you played Final Fantasy 15, you know what I'm talking about, where the DLCs related to the story are accessible only through an option in the main menu, and they're not naturally integrated in the base game. You know the random events we had earlier, the Walking Mausoleum? That is also not random. That will always spawn in that seed. Make those also part of a random event that can happen for all the bosses. For example, there are some events only happen with Cephalos, only happen with Ogre, and only happen with Dark Drift Knight. That is not okay. Make those available for every single one of them. Otherwise, it's not random, it's laziness. Fromsoft doesn't know how to make random stuff. They tried with Bloodborne, the Chalice dungeons in Bloodborne, okay? They are sold as a roguelike experience where the dungeons are randomly generated. It's fake. They are not random. There are 2,000 seeds that can appear, and they are all handmade by Fromsoftware themselves. Fromsoft just doesn't know how to get randomness right. They need to hire someone that knows this to fix this game before it dies out of time. Also, other points that are less related to random generation, but they should buff mountaintops, which is another shifting earth, because it just sucks, and I think everyone agrees that it's good only for Caligo, because it increases frost resistance by a lot, but it's not good for any other boss. Volcano is good for every boss. Nocrateo is good for every boss. Technically, Rot Forest is also good for every boss. Mountaintops is good only for Caligo, and up to an extent Adele, because also Adele is a dragon. Everything else is non-existent. It's never a good option to have mountaintops unless you're fighting Caligo. Then, let's talk about another thing, and I will have to do this. Conjure Shifting Earth, Great Hollow. The Great Hollow is the new map that they added with the DLC. It's an amazing map. It literally changes the entire map. And that is very cool because we needed a new, entirely new map. The problem is, only occurs with downloadable content targets. If I go in a fight against Caligo, Ogre, Libra, Gaping Jaw, I will only have the normal map, the usual one. So I am forced, if I want to play the new map, to go either against the Balances or the Draglord. Remember what I said earlier about the plate of pasta and the cheese on the side? I go back on it and think, damn, this pasta is very good. I want the DLC to also be part of it. You know, FromSoft could take the glass or whatever, the container with the cheese and put it on the pasta. But what they want you to do with this is use the fork, get the pasta, and like it's a sauce, tinge the pasta into the cheese and eat it like this. That's the only way you can actually get the full taste of what you purchased. You are being forced to add the cheese yourself in order to have the fun part. You know why I'm angry? Because this frustrates me, because it doesn't make any sense. I get you want me to play the new content, but why lock me in these two boss fights when there are 10 in the game and I could actually try a new approach with the Cephalos doing the DLC stuff, but having the new map? But I can't. I just can't because the game doesn't allow me for it. Doesn't allow me to do it. It's stupid. I don't see the logic outside of buy the game, buy the DLC, play the DLC. That's it. If I want to feel like the game was updated, I need to play against these two fuckers. You're forcefully trying me to stay in your DLC area, even though I want to experience new stuff with the game. I also want to add that they didn't add a single new weapon from the DLC. Everything, like weapon-wise, is still the same. They didn't add any new moveset, they didn't add any new weapon, they didn't add anything. You know what that means? If I play, for example, Wilder against Sentient Pest, I have literally nothing related to the DLC in my hands. There is nothing that will make me want to play this fight again, trying a different approach, because there is nothing that can make the fight different. Only if I play the new characters. What if I don't like the new characters? What if I bought the DLC, I don't like the new characters, but I want to do a run to feel the difference between like the before and after buying the DLC? It's gonna be the same. I can't even try to force myself to not play the DLC stuff, because there is nothing, and I don't get it. There is nothing different. Also, if we want to talk about things that are not related to the DLC, I think they should give proper rewards to Deep of Night. The rewards for Deep of Night are technically just the new stones that you can, make more builds of. But the game mode is so trash. It removes so many points when you lose and doesn't give you enough points to go up. It's not fun. There is no progression in there. I rather play a single random run against all of these than play Deep of Night. This gives me way less rewards, but it's way more fun. Also, the Deep of Night stones give you so many debuffs. Okay, that's part of the mode. You should be managing your own stuff. It's fine. I get it. It's okay. But give me a chance to get positive additional effects and not just negatives. Give me something to look forward to when finishing the run. Because every time I see all the stones I get from winning Deep of Night, I just get discouraged. Because most of the time, I don't get anything useful for any character. So either add some sort of rewards that is not just a flag after you reach depth 5, and that's it. You don't get new skins, you don't get new stones, you don't get new challenges, new animations, you don't get anything outside of that. The roguelike experience is supposed to reward you if you complete challenges. You complete challenge, you have something new for your own self. Could it be a new character? Could it be a new skin? Could it be a new stone? Could it be a new chalice? Could it be literally something that appears in the map that tells you, congratulations, you won against the knight. Nothing happens. Literally, there is nothing there. This is why I think, since Deep of Night is the only mode that after you complete the game is available, they should add something that makes you want to go back to the game every single day. For example, daily objectives. Daily runs with different challenges like complete this run with this seed against this boss, where the objective is kill as many enemies as possible, gather as many runes as you can, kill as many world bosses as you can, clear camps as much as you can. That is actually so smart. And I thought about it literally in 10 minutes. That will make running through the game better because you have other objectives that will make the game fun. Deep of Night is the same thing with problems, and that is not fun. Imagine if Deep of Night was the base mode for Elden Ring, Nightreign. That would be atrocious. That would be the worst Souls game ever made. It's not fun, it's not rewarding, there is nothing there. It's trash. There is no way to sugarcoat it. It's awful to play this mode. There is nothing fun there. Nothing. Some people like the challenge, but I like to be rewarded through, from the challenge. I want something to look forward to when I complete this, and there is always just discomfort. I don't like it. Another thing that I would add would be quests from the other Nightfarers. Like, for example, you talk to Executor. He needs new colors for his paintings. Okay, you get the new colors by, I don't know, getting some flowers, killing some enemies, get the paint or whatever. You bring it to him, and then you get a cool relic for him, like from a pool of effects that are positive for him specifically. That would be so much better because you also are interacting with the other Nightfarers, which feels like poles that can talk. When you're playing the game, they don't talk, they don't interact with you, there is nothing in there. Give them some personality outside of, yeah, I can do this, or yes, I am skilled in my craft, or oh, you bunch are awful, just the way I like it. It's so easy to give them personality and also reasons to talk to them. Another one would be add variations of already existing camps, so ruins, forts, great forts, churches, cathedrals and stuff with the added enemies with the DLC. Add the variations of the camps that already exist in the game using new enemies. You go into a ruin camp with the imps, for example. Give us in that camps a chance to have the imps from the Elden Ring DLC, which are in the Nightreign DLC, by the way. They are just in the game, they just need to add the generation, you know? I also wanted one new skin for every Nightfarer with the new activities or after beating the Draglord. Again, this is part of the roguelike approach. You are playing a roguelike. You need and want rewards for doing new stuff. If you're gonna add new activities, you need to give proper rewards. Deep of Night doesn't give anything. If reaching depth 4 would have meant we get new skins for Wilder or Revenant and all that, I would have kept playing Deep of Night until the death of me. Because I would want those skins. Because that's part of the completion of a roguelike. Challenges need to be taken for a reason. This challenge only gives pain and no reward. Even giving new skins to the other characters by beating the Draglord with them, for example. Beat this boss with this character. This isn't what I thought beforehand. This specifically was literally just thought now. Beating the Draglord or the Knight aspect with this character gives me a new skin for that character. It's so simple to implement as an idea. They didn't think of it. Also, of course, add more seeds for Balances and Draglord, because literally they don't have enough seeds. With the new map, there are only 4 seeds, I believe, with them. And 4 seeds, that means every 4 runs, I will be repeating the same stuff over and over again. And also, very simple, but I think it was gonna happen, but it didn't happen. Add the emotes from the Elden Ring DLC to Nightreign. They are there. The engine is the same. Even after beating the final boss, you only get a couple more stones and skins. And 1 chalice. There are no emotes. It's supposed to be an expansion. What does an expansion do? It expands. This one feels like I did not expand anything. It just added a couple new things that are related only to those 2 assholes that are fun to fight against. After a couple of times, they become boring because you're forced to play the new stuff only against them. I get that roguelikes are supposed to make you do the same thing over and over and over again in order to improve on it, but this one is not fine because I will get tired because I will be facing the same 2 bosses over and over and over again. And I want to put my hands forward. I don't say this as a hate towards the game. I have 300 hours on Nightreign. I still want to play the game. I have a lot of fun playing it constantly. Every single time I get the chance to play it, I have a blast. I just want it to be the best it can. And if you own the DLC, these changes should happen because they just make the game better. Right now, $15 feel like a scam. If they implement all of these changes, which by all means are not a few changes, they will make the game 10 times better. Roguelikes need replayability. They need randomness. They need variety as much as possible. And this DLC did not add any of those. There is nothing where there should be a lot. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I rest my case. Every single thing they added in the game is amazing. New camps and everything is absolutely astonishing for how good it is. The problem, it needs to be implemented better. Simple as that.